future unfold. It's a job, rise up, come in knowledge you trust. Zebulun, rise up, come be fair and be just. Joseph, rise up, come in dreams you adjust. Benjamin, rise up, come in God is your thrust. Rise up, tribes of old. It's still for your soul. Judah, rise up, come let your light shine bright. Reuben, rise up, come stand up in your might. Gad, rise up, come be strong and take flight. Asher, rise up, come in wisdom's pure light. Rise up, tribes of old. In unity, let the story be told. Rise up, encourage, be bold. In the spirit of the ancients, let the future unfold. Naphtali, rise up, come.
My mind is God's mind.
Manasseh, rise up, come, let go of your fear. Simeon, rise up, come, let your voice be clear. Levi, rise up,
my mind is God's mind.
Rise up, tribes of old. In unity.
Let's get it started. That's enough. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I'm always poised, balanced, serene, and calm, knowing that God will provide a perfect solution, not to just some of my needs, but all of my needs, 364 degrees of my needs, 362, 363. How many degrees? Thank you. You say thank you. I say, God, you promise. You say amen. I say, God, you promise. You say Selah. I say, God, you promised. Before I get to replaying that stream from last night and going over, I think today what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit as if I'm on the job. Ain't no such thing as Job. I'm going to sit as if I'm on the job today. See if I could pull a whole 8-hour shift. I'm going to see if I can pull an 8-hour shift. I may be having to take, the little, you get 10 minutes, you get 15. It's on the countdown to the 8th. 8 days. It's a countdown to 8. It's a countdown, I got the math books out. I got the chemistry books out, the geometry books out. I got the science books out. I got my anatomy. I got all my skull bones and everything. I got everything out. I got all my massage therapy notes that I took. I should start doing like in those scenes where the investigator just start pinning stuff all over the wall and put strings and all that. Just to get this one code or frequency that I need when I'm sending those fumes up in the air on that same day. While I'm out there with the aluminum foil over my frame. Get right, church, and let's go home. Ooh, get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church. Get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home on the morning train. Ooh. Oh, let me start with some word, huh? Let me start with some word. Let me start with the word. Anybody believe in the word of God? They know you ain't supposed to be celebrating no Easter. No Easter eggs. Dressing up on this day like that. I'm gonna do something that I normally don't do. I'm gonna read this scripture and I'm gonna tell you my perspective in the way that God put it on my heart, the translation of this message that Jesus said in Matthew 24. Everybody don't see things the same. I'm gonna tell you how that scripture reads out to me. Go get your friends. Go tell your daddy. Go tell your daddy. Say she talking about she gonna be burning up books and stuff, daddy. He wasn't supposed to be left in Egypt. Do you know your resignation, the way you resonate on this plane is lower in the pyramid? I got all this stuff to go up in flames. All this stuff to go up in flames on the 8th. Same time they doing their morning, I'm sending all these frequencies. I'm sending all these frequencies up there in the air. And the 1,000th seal. What you mean? Yes. And the 1,000th seal. I just need the right tone, the right note, the right frequency, to match what they got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, that's it. Yep. Let me get to this story. Let me get to this story. It looked like crystal floating on the top. Okay. Is it 24? Yeah, I was supposed to be reading 24. Right? I might do that later. Nope. I got to. It all goes together, but I'm going to start with this one about my perspective on this one right here. How every time I read something, I be like, the way they've been teaching it is not the way it unfolds in my mind. So here we go. First, I'm going to start with Matthew 25:14. Going into Jesus tells the parable of the loan money. This is where you get Christians get all caught up in believing that they're supposed to be slaves and work for the slave masters. On a note, on a bill, owing some man that it's okay to take loans. So when they read the story, they see, Jesus was telling us we could get a loan from the master. And I think everybody missed the whole thing and feel like the one who took the money, the $1,000, and buried it did something wrong. And that's not what that scripture say. See, he was old indigenous, knowing that these eggs, these Easter eggs, they were free. And he knew that the master was going to steal. He going to go work for the money. He going to give him a loan. He going to take his money, what he worked for, and then some, and then give him some more work to do. Instead, he said, I'm going to take this $1,000, go get some seeds, put it in the earth so I have something to eat. Because I know he's going to take this money from me. And the master got mad. And that's how that story is read. I'm going to read it to you. Now you're going to hear it the way Jesus explained the story. And you'll know that Jesus meant it just like that, because as he continued after telling that story, he said, but. They said after the master threw the man, said, throw him, you disobedient slave. The other ones, they was all happy and hunky-dory. They was like, yes, master, I'm glad I got $10,000 and I doubled the $10,000 that you gave me. And yes, I'm not left with anything, but I'm happy. And the master say, good job. Now I'm going to give you some more work to do. Give me my money, give me your money, and I'm going to give you some more work to do. Everybody took that scripture as if Jesus was, how? That would be like, don't make any sense that Jesus have a problem with beings like that with all that money, taking money, flipping the money, taxation, and they're going to use that as an example as people in the church supposed to know. That master right there was an example of the masters that said, no, we going to give you a loan and you need to invest it in things that would benefit me. And when I come back, I want that, what I gave you, plus what I gave you. You don't go take it and put it in the ground, huh? You don't go take it and grow farms. We stop that. We want you to invest in the water that you got to pay for, where water was supposed to be free. The salt of the earth. You bring us that back. And you can see the servants, the one that got the $5,000, they was all happy. Ooh, I got me a PPP loan. Ooh, I got some subsidy. We gonna give you that now. And you invested in things like Nike shoes. You invested in don't you go and take that money and put it in no land. It didn't say, it say he buried the money. He put it in the soil. He put it in the soil of the earth. He said, because I knew you was I know what type of man you are, master. He was being honest. I know what type of man you are. These the ones that speak out. We know what you doing. And I know what type of being you are. And I know that you would take the money that you gave me and take my hard earned for yourself. I'm not like the other ones. I can see what you're doing. And that's what made the master mad. The master got mad because he said, you knew I was going to come steal your money. And then you had a nerve to come in my face and tell me. Let me read this story for you. Let me read this story. Again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going into another country. This man came from a whole nother country into an indigenous land where everybody was all right. They wasn't studying gold. They wasn't studying silver. They was dropping Easter eggs. Huh? They didn't have hospitals or nothing. They dropping Easter eggs. This man came from a whole nother country. He said, going into another country, who called together his servants and loaned them money to invest for him while he was gone. To invest for him, not for them. To invest for his benefit, not for them. So he gave one of the slaves $5,000. Ooh, massa, based on where they stood in the house. He said, yes, massa. I'm good. I don't mind the plantation. I will work the plantation for you. Then he gave another one $2,000. He said, yup. All right, huh? I got my tax return back. Woo-hoo! And the other one, the last one, he gave him $1,000, dividing it into proportion to their abilities. And he left for his trip and he went on the way. He said, yep, I'm gone. The man who received $5,000 immediately began to buy and sell with it and soon earned another $5,000. So he earned another $5,000. He flipped it. Who knows what he flipped it in? He was the urgent one. Whatever it was, probably destroyed people all around him. It didn't matter. He was just, I'm going to flip this money for the master. The man who with $2,000 went right to work too and earned another $2,000. But the man who received $1,000 dug a hole in the ground and hid the money for safekeeping. He dug a hole, hid it in the soil, in the seeds. The seeds grew. He's like, yep, I'm putting it here. Ooh, that tree grew. Look at that. That grew. Oh, yes. After a long time, now it was a long time. It might have been 100 years. The master returned from his trip and called them to account for his money now, not their money. His money. The man whom he entrusted $5,000 bought him $10,000. He said, thank you. Praised him for his $10,000. You have been faithful in handling the little bit of money I gave you. I gave you $5,000. You bought me $10,000. You give me back my money. So now I will give you more responsibilities. He didn't say I'm going to give you more money. He said, now I'm going to give you more responsibilities. Begin the joyous tasks I have assigned to you. So not only did this man walk away with nothing but praise, a good pat on the back. Good boy. Good boy. Run along. Good boy. He didn't realize he just got robbed. He worked that master's $5,000. That master came back and said, yep, give me my money and your money. And I'm going to give you some more work, and you just better be happy with it. Keep on going. Keep a trucking. So next came the man who received $2,000 with the report. Sir, massa, huh? You gave me $2,000 to use and I doubled it. Good work, his master said. He said, good work. He said, you are good and faithful. You have been faithful over this small amount. So now I will give you much more work to do. Give me my $2,000 and give me the $2,000 you made, and you go and do some more work. So then the man with $1,000 came. He said, look, I see how you do people. You are a hard man. And I was afraid. I knew you would rob me of what I earned. So I hid your money in the earth, and here it is. I hid your money, and here it is. I got avocados, coconut, pineapples. I can feed my community. I can feed my family, and the trees will keep growing and dropping seeds, I knew you would rob me. Listen to that verse right there. This is the part where all the people miss. To me, I knew you would rob me. But his master replied, you wicked, lazy slave. Mind you, do people miss that this was a slave? This is the verse where people and Christians and churches and people say, see, we supposed to. He say, you wicked, lazy slave. Because he didn't want to be robbed. Since you knew I would demand your profit, he said, since you knew I would rob you, read it. Go read it for yourself. Don't believe me. Check it out. He said, since you knew I was going to rob you, you could at least put it in a bank and let it grow interest. That's why I was telling the elder within my bloodline, why would you be trying to teach me about investing and yielding and stuff? I know about all that stuff on these end days when we know Jesus on the way. This man-made stuff right here. If I can invest in a yield or some land or something, maybe trees and stuff, because Jesus is going to come. Or he's been the example that when God comes, this land is going to be like that. Ain't no more paying for water and paying for light. So, right there, the master said, well, you knew I was going to rob you. You got all the sense. You knew I was going to take your money. So you could have at least, that's what he said, you could at least put the money into the bank. And I could have had some interest. Take the money from this man and give it to the man with $10,000. So the people who fight against the system, who say this land is a land of freedom, you take that from him and give it to the man who made $10,000. So that man who made $10,000, who he actually didn't keep the $10,000, he actually just earned $1,000 from the man who wanted to be free. He earned $1,000 out of all the years that the master was gone. He only earned $1,000 off of the back of the man who didn't want to be robbed. What? That's what it say right here. I'm not making this up. Go to Matthew 25 and read it for yourself. Remember, the man who made $10,000, the master took his money. He robbed him. He took the money he invested in him and took his money and told him, now scoot along and be happy for some more work that I'm about to give you. But the man who made $10,000 as a slave only made $1,000 off of the back of the man who didn't want to be robbed by the slave master.
The story be told.
For the man who uses well what he is given shall be given more, and he shall have abundance. But for the man who is unfaithful, this is what the slave master said. This ain't what Jesus is telling a story about what the slave master said. But for the man who is unfaithful, even little responsibility he has shall be taken from him. For the man who uses well what was given to him, well, the well in the earth, the well shall be given more, and he shall have abundance. But for the man who is unfaithful, even what little responsibility he has shall be taken from him. Remember, the one who made $5,000 and made another $5,000, they didn't get that money. That money was given to the slave master. He robbed them. And throw the useless servant out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Read this and read it just the way it's written. Because after that, Jesus says, but. See, when the slave master made that statement, letting the slave owners, the slaves know, if you disobey me and take your money and put it in the well and put it in the ground, try to have your own free water, you gonna get thrown in the outer darkness, and there will be gnashing of teeth. Because we ain't having that. If I give you 5,000, I want my 5,000 and your 5,000. And you better be quiet. And after he says that, Jesus says, but. You hear this story, and this is what happened. But when I, the Messiah, shall come in my glory, and all the angels with me, then I will sit upon the throne of glory. Why did he just go right into a run-on sentence like that? If that story, out of all these years and all these centuries, 375 years of slavery, 400 years of slavery, that's the way that was supposed to be interpreted. But when I, the Messiah, shall come in my glory, and all the angels with me, I shall sit upon my throne, and all the nations shall be gathered before me. And I will separate the people as the shepherd separates the sheep from the goats, and place the sheep at my right hand and the goats at my left. Then I, the king, shall say to those to the right, come, blessed of my Father, into the kingdom prepared for you from the founding of this world, from the foundations, before your mother's womb. For I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me water. I was a stranger and you invited me into your homes. Naked and you clothed me. Sick and in prison and you visited me. Jesus said, I was in prison and you visited me. I was sick and you took care of me. Huh? Then these righteous ones will reply, Sir, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you anything to drink, or a stranger and help you, or naked and clothe you? When did we ever see you sick in prison and visited you? And I, the king, will tell them, when you did it to these, my brothers, you were doing it to me. Then I will return to those on my left and say, away with you, you cursed ones, into eternal fire prepared from the devil and his demons. For I was hungry and you wouldn't feed me, thirsty and you wouldn't give me anything to drink, a stranger and you refused me hospitality, naked and you wouldn't clothe me, sick and in prison and you wouldn't even visit me. Then they will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or naked or sick and in prison and not help you? And I will answer, when you refuse to help the least of these, my brothers, you were refusing to help me. And they shall go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into everlasting life. Now I'm going to go back to 24, because 24, all of that is in the same scripture. And remember when I was talking yesterday and speaking about slavery, how they have fooled us to believe that we were slaves. Oh, I waste some of this on me. Oh, man. Oh, well. I went over that yesterday, right? But I'm not really here to rub it in, but I am. God is going to keep his promise. God is going to keep his promise. If you think by any chance you see people peeling off, talking about they peeling money, counting. They happy for the thousands of dollars that they're receiving, tens and thousands, for the master. Off of the backs. They don't really get money. Read that chapter. Read that portion. Read it. Read it. The one who received $5,000 and flipped it into 5,000 more dollars didn't get no money. The slave master took all of that. You earn $5,000 and you have to take the money that you might make on the side and put it into the house that I have established for you, the light bills that I have established for you, the food that is supposed to be free. If you take the money and put it into land and investing for things that you shouldn't have to pay with, if everybody is doing that, the slave master is going to be mad. He's going to be angry. Even if you're especially if you're telling the slave master, I know you was going to steal from me. He said, yeah, you know I was going to steal for you. You know that I'm going to rob you. But even if I'm going to rob you, you should at least open up a bank account or something. Jesus said, they ain't finna do that no longer either. God is going to keep his promise. But I'm going to show you in the federal register. I'm going to go back and replay that video from last night. You know, they got me shadow banned like a mother. Like a mother. And that's fine. For those who will hear it. And remember that grandma said, Jesus, my brother, the son, my son, they all on the way. They are on the way. And I just can't, I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I can't hide it. Now I'm being obedient because I'm not supposed to leave this residence until after they do their transition. And when I do leave this residence after this 8th and I finish with everything that I'm doing, it's on the road. On the road with the karaoke machine. Jesus is on the way. Yes, sir. Let me read 24. I'm feeling so good reading the word right now. Let me read the one that I was supposed to be reading. As Jesus was leaving the temple grounds, his disciples came along and wanted to take him on a tour of the various temple buildings. Like they had no idea. Like, Jesus, come on, let's go on an excursion. A 3-hour tour. Jesus said, yeah, okay. Look. All these buildings will be knocked down with not one stone left on top of another. When will this happen? The disciples said. They asked, as he sat down on the slopes of the Mount of All Love. He sat on the Mount of All Love. What events will signal your return in the end of the world? Jesus told them, don't let anybody fool you. For many will come claiming to be the Messiah and will lead many astray. When you hear wars beginning, this does not signal my return. This must come, but it is not the end yet. So when we get that first strike on this land, that don't mean it's over, This is just the beginning. You armor up in love. Get excited that God is going to keep his promise and cleanse the earth. That's what this is about. All this wickedness. The nations and kingdoms of earth will rise against each other, and there will be famines and earthquakes in many places. It's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Love ain't easy. Then you will be tortured and killed and hated all over the world because you are mine. It's coming. We got 5 months of protection after they sit here playing with the moon, 5 months. It is your duty to be a light to all that are lost, huh? Many false prophets will appear and lead many astray. I'm talking about it's getting wider and faster, and like there's people popping out of everywhere. Sin will be rampant everywhere and will cool the love of many. But those enduring to the end shall be saved. If you got love and light to the end, no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, no matter what kind of tones they try to put in your ear, all satanic, how they try to bring you down, they don't even realize that they being used by the devil when they doing it. But to see the love and light in you will change the very atmosphere of where they stand, where they sinking. Even to the high and mighty. The mountains will be made plain. The crooked places will be made straight. And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world so that all nations will hear it. And then finally the end will come. All nations is going to have to hear it. Everybody is going to have to hear. And y'all get ready for it. When I send up the smoke signals, I'm not the only one now. I'm not the only one that know what we know that we supposed to be doing. So when you see the horrible thing told about by Daniel, y'all know who Daniel was, the prophet standing in the holy place, you know what is meant. Then those in Judea must flee into the Judean hills. Those on their porches must not even go inside the pack before they flee. Those in the field should not return to their homes for their clothes. And woe to pregnant women and to those with babies in those days. And pray that your flight will not be in the winter or on the Sabbath. For there will be persecution such as the world had never seen in all of its history and will never see again. You won't see this no more. This is the last time. In fact, unless those days are shortened, all mankind will perish. See, this is the part that they know right here, that they put in the Federal Register, that they've implemented in different areas in the media and letting people know, yep, the days are shortened. As a matter of fact, Earth is losing seconds. So instead of being at 39 degrees north at 42 seconds, it's steady counting down. Counting down. It's getting shorter. It's getting shorter. And they knew that they would have to do that. Because it says so. Because the Bible tells me so. Unless those days are shortened, all mankind will perish. But they will be shortened for the sake of God's chosen people. They think they doing it to save them. God's chosen people that are supposed to continue on with this message and get it spread to all the world in this generation. The love and light codes. It ain't, they think they saving themselves. They went up there melting the ice and stuff off of this scripture, thinking that it was for them. That's what they thought as they go in Department of Defense. Y'all let what's his name? Forbidden knowledge trick y'all. Forbidden knowledge trick them, y'all. Tell about work for the Pentagon. Forbidden knowledge when it told them, because forbidden knowledge, no. Forbidden. They said, well, what can we do for you? He said, give me Tupac's catalog. Give me Tupac's catalog. You give me Tupac's catalog, and I will tell y'all all the forbidden knowledge you need to know. It said, well, if you do that, you know, we're going to have to take Puffy out. Forbidden knowledge said, well, you're going to have to do what you got to do. Because I'm telling you who I am, what I am. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know who we are. Now, and in order, see what it says? Y'all know that all the scriptures line up, huh? All 33 Stelas. Nah, they rushing trying to figure out how to get up out of here. Woo! God is going to keep his promise. God is on the way. I'm so excited. Woo! Should I finish reading that over here? I didn't even want... Look. Let me leave that alone for a second. Let me go on over here and replay my video from last night and just show y'all this little certain points of what they're saying in the... No, I think I'll go through the PDF and get straight to it. Words that they're using in their codes. Remember I told y'all that April 4th, there's something major supposed to happen April 4th, and what they're doing April 4th. So as I continue reading through this note that they have, or notice, a final rule on the people, making it seem like they talking about exchanging commodities and stuff like that, when it's specifically using words like indigenous, Stela, the mimic. When I tell you, even down to how the land is being, some parts of the land are being erected and raised, because the location I'm in right now, it's raising above sea level. That means somewhere else is sinking below sea level. That's why my ears keep popping. This area that I'm in is raising above sea level. That's where in the Bible and in Revelation it says the mountains will become low. And we thinking visibly, waiting to see the mountains crumble, and it's not. It's where the earth is shifting in certain areas and lands because of the shift in the platonic shifting, that particular areas on each land is raising up and coming over sea level. You don't have to believe me. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You don't have to believe nothing I'm saying. You could go and read it for yourself in Federal Register. Or you could read the word and you could compare it. It's real. It's happening. I think I want to do it like this. All right. And nope, I'm going to share this one. I'm going to share this tab instead. Is this the one from last night? No. This one. This it right here. They don't have the what you call it up yet. They don't have the comments available for me to go over the notes with you. So you might need to wait a little later on that one. I'm not going to use that one then. I'll just go and come and do it on my own. So share this screen. Let me manifest it into a larger. Okay. And I didn't do much talking when I was going over it yesterday or last night. I just was taking my notes, doing the math. Here we go. Okay. This right here is meant to be released on April 4th. This document. So in this document, there are codes that they have in the reset. And for anyone, I know one person this would really interest. He may have very well went over this goddess already because he loves covering the Asian goddesses and geishas and all that. But within this Federal Register program, that is a rule to be effective on April 4th with Department of Defense, GSA, NASA, the missiles. This is basically about the missile that they're supposed to be sending to the moon. And clarifications on the reset that they're doing and how long that they've been working on it, right? Well, for that being that likes to cover those gods, particular gods, this god Moose out of Masu, Macau, that mythology where in that city they have that goddess supposed to be Ama or Amu. She's highly regarded in this supplementary information that's supposed to be released April 4th, 3 days from now. She's highly regarded and resurrected in this information that is supposed to be released as a final rule for the missiles that they will be sending to the moon. Here, let me share the screen. So I'm not going to go over and cover and go through what I went through last night, but just know that this is the being that's regarded in their ritual for the 8th. Share the screen, share this tab instead. Okay. Now in the Federal Register, she's named as Macau, or the city that reverences or holds that she's bound to. I'm just going to read a brief description from here. Matsu or Mut'Awuhu is a few ways that this name resonates. And I know for a fact that the person that I'm talking about has covered the Matsu, the Mut'Awuhu, Macau, right? And how many different ways that she has come. So, but the one that they're resurrecting and reverencing now has taken us out of the indigenous format that is encoded in our DNA. Okay, so here, Matsu or Matsu or Matua or Makua is a Chinese sea goddess, but not really Chinese, but just listen to how they have it and how they've created it and what they're using it in regards to their codes, tones, and frequencies that they're implementing through the portal on the 8th. Is a Chinese sea goddess in Chinese folk religion. Remember, this is a folk religion of China, off of a story that is true. It's based on a true story, but they can only give you what was passed down as they traveled through times and frequencies. So the story of Matua or Mut'Awuhu or Matsu or Makua is in Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism. She's also known by several other names and titles, and that means even through different times. Matsu is the deified form of Lin Manawang. I don't know who that is. A shamanist from Fujian, who is said to have lived in the late 10th century After her death, she became revered. And so they start resurrecting her and worshiping her. Her worship spread throughout China's coastal region, where she was never supposed to be worshipped. Overseas in Chinese communities throughout Southeast Asia, where the Maoist temples are affiliated with famous the Taiwanese temples. Mazu was traditionally thought to roam the seas, protect her believers through miraculous interventions. She is now generally regarded by her believers as a powerful and benevolent queen of heaven. And here's some of the names that they have for her and worship her under. Matsu, meaning granny, grandmother, maternal ancestor, mother, Ama, a grandmother, Macau, lady of numerous grace, princess of numinous grace, illuminated princess of heaven, queen, empress, and all these names that she should have never had. Now, being pure, faith, helpful response, that's more taking in, humbling her down. But here, the name of the Chinese, they have her down as the celestial concubine. Simplified, they say Granny Masu. And then there's some history, more history about her. One part of it gives her the name as the silent girl. And there's more. There's a large statue there. They go into her worship and all that good stuff, right? My point of this is not to resurrect her or make this any type of focus at all on who she is. It's more about focusing on why our Department of Defense, our governmental system has used her as a code through the Department of Commerce in their encryptions and everything else they got going on here. And let me show you something. Let me show you words and phrases that I have highlighted yesterday. And they are not allowing my to come through yet. My comment section. Let me give an example of words in here. This code I'm working on right here. Turn on time. See this? Monolithic microwave integrated circuit. Oh, what does that mean? That don't mean nothing. Okay. Harmonic mixers, bandwidth, bandpass, resonators. Hold up. I just want to get, right now, I'm just trying to get to the words indigenous. See the mimic? Ultraviolet. Missiles. The frequency. Look at this. See the dice. This is for the fourth now. Remember when Jesus was on the cross and they was throwing lots, rolling dice, huh? For the ultraviolet robe. Remember? That's there, right there. All that is in here. Like I told my sister, I said, yesterday wasn't Good Friday. Not according to what they got planned here. The true date is the Friday coming up before the 8th. The 4th is when they arrested him. So when they sending out these frequencies on the 4th, but also they are letting everyone know that the missiles and the range of the missile and how the ultraviolet rays are supposed to fall. Outer input fractional bandwidth. Let me get to the indigenous part. Vacuum. Cross field amplifier. Gridded electron gun. Space qualified. This right here, the space qualified is by the ITA. The ITA deals directly with intergalactic laws of space, laws from beings in space. That's why they sending missiles and aiming out there, because of what else. Look, okay. Octave power. Hold up. Let me get to, it's 166 pages, y'all. And I went through majority of it last night. Wait, there's the ITA, the word ITA, space control, vacuum electronic devices, perimeter sample rate. So boy, I took those notes. Let's see, that's why I like to write and take notes. I was taking notes within the chat for this one. Here's the turning back the time, the clock frequency. And even in the codes here, you can see where they switched the, look at how many points. How they slowing down time in order to do it. They realized and remember that they have to slow down time. $1,500 terminals, neural network. They even have the price of people head as if this right here, this scripture that I just finished reading in 25 about the amount of money, $5,000 is in here, and 1,000 one-way peak. No, and 2,000 one-way peak. Logic rays, logic devices, program optical wave guidelines, internal light detecting element. They're not talking about the land, people. Let me get to the indigenous part. See, when you see stuff like this, look right here. One or more than one internal light detecting element, even down to the cell. They speak of the cell and give you the definition of this cell, and not just about the battery. It says this cell doesn't run off of any energy. We just want to show you the harmonic distortion outputs. Here. I said, show me where I know I'm not reaching. And as I work on these codes to put up and send up with my smoke signal that I'm doing the right thing. Digital array processors. And I feel just like those in all they alter ego. Talking about if I was such and such, I would come over there and da da da. Yeah, I say the same thing about you. Microprocessor, micro circuits, because I answered to only one God, the true and living God that is going to keep his promise, operating the clock frequency exceeding 40 megahertz. Look at that. All the I'm just saying, y'all, you think this is about the power cells? Look, non-volatile memories, memory transference. They're going to put people back to sleep. They not talking about us. They not talking about people. You reading too much. You reading too much into things, Abigail. Look, you are. Yes, you are. You're making things up as you go. Okay. So yeah, they're not talking about hybrid being. They're not talking about monolithic stuff from the what you call it, from the beginning of time. They're not talking about the 33 Stellas out there. You had, what's his name? What's his name? Forbidden Knowledge saying, see, I was in Australia. See, I was over here. And he's showing you how he been deciphering the codes. Just as easy as he put a code, a stone up there and said, see that circle right there? And I was like, okay, that's the Milky Way. Those who know, indivisible. Those who know, but he is the one that helped them. He is the one that gave them the information that they've been looking for. I'm snitching. I'm telling it. It's out loud. He's the one that's trying to help them, but they don't know that it was meant to be. It was already written that he would do this. And you is not going to get to spend one dime off of Tupac's music. You're not going to get to spend one dime off of Tupac's music. As soon as it get to the point where you think you just made it, that you will allow them to take and put all these people back to sleep. Just see, there go to 5,000. See what I said? Right there from that scripture. This is it. There go to 5,000. Let me get to where it talks about the indigenous, putting they here to put the people asleep. Now, instead of $2,000, it's at $3,000. And yes, they had to put it at 15. This is for the indigenous beings right here that they want to put to sleep. That code right there. You shouldn't even open your mouth being and bragging, talking about you have friends in high places at the Pentagon. That y'all know. Y'all know for sure. Those who know that know. Yeah. Savon is one too, but he kind of lost in the sauce, not by choice. And he battles a lot with it. But what's his name? See, because I keep not wanting to say his name. Forbidden Knowledge. He did all this, sold out all the information for Tupac catalog. That's worse than anybody wanting to be to own a plantation. They had him travel in the code and break down, and he gave them off after all these years. This is what he was doing, because they wouldn't have been able to figure this out on their own. It was encoded in our DNA. See that name right there? And him being synchronized with her DNA code is how come it was made it easier for him to even help them figure out to use this being. I told y'all it was a reason why he came into my dream. Sitting there trying to pick my mind. Hold up. See? Lapse in appropriation, catastrophic events, and multi-day processing system failure. Stela. That's why I know it's built on the 33 Stellas that are erected. And I don't know how many stellars he actually have been to. But the main ones that they needed in order to process these codes over the years, he's bragging about Australia and showing different places where he's been, but I guarantee, I'm willing to believe he's been to all 33 stellars. Or just, took the codes from all 33 stellars. God is gonna keep his promise. God is gonna keep his promise. I'm willing to believe he tricked he went in and got his signature on another realm. He went back to the past, travel, and said, look, before you go, let me get your signature. He showed them that it was possible, and they allowed him to do what he do. And Tupac probably told him to say, look, yes, but you're going to have to take Sean down and everybody else on this list. You got to take them down. That's the only way I'm going to let you have my catalog. There go Prama. There go the 600 series. Y'all could take this information and run with it and tell you and believe it. Grandma said it, and it is real. It is real. But you may want to wait for the notes that come out in the stream that I did Last night, there go McCain. Oh my goodness. The dock for loading the lighters, the saving clause, not specified, the ear. And so a bunch of stuff in here I highlighted on how they have the ear and the abyss. I mean, they got it coded up so pretty in here. You'd really think you reading about machines. There go the minimus versus the knowledge. Look how they self-blinded the knowledge. Look how they got it in quotations. The legacy, remember, consider the legacy. Oh, their whole goal is that everybody go back to sleep and that he will be stinking, filthy, bigger than Akhenaten off of two. But you think they said they need $1 billion? Where you think they getting that $1 billion from? They need $1 billion to rebuild that bridge when it was already written that they was gonna tear it down. They need $1 billion. Who you think they getting that $1 billion from? Oh, God is gonna keep his promise. I'm so excited. Look, they go to abyss again. The ear. You might want to clog your ears that day too, right? Don't tell them I know they ain't move it that fast. Okay, I gotta scroll back down. Let me scroll back down. Okay, 250 joules. 250 joules. Discharge a life cycle. Does not control superconductive electromagnetic solenoids. Where's our noids? Where's your noids located? Overall current to be covered glass, interconnect, illumination with an irradiance, air mass 0. The sunlight of the Earth's outer atmosphere when the distance between the Earth and the sun is 1 astronomical unit. Encoder rings, there's the rings, the discs and the scales, the thyristor modules, the rate of the rise, off-peak voltage, silicone, electrical triggering, light triggering, the gate turn off, they turning off the gate, the soliditrons, they take in the positrons and move them, the civil aircraft and the civil railway. Get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home on the morning train. I'm going home on the morning train right here. The craft is coming. Let's get down to it. Where did they remove it just as fast as I put it in there yesterday? That's okay. That's all right. It's my electro-optic modulators thoroughly. The monoliths. I done showed y'all the Stela is in here. Monoliths. I'm just want to get to the word indigenous. Why is indigenous in here at the Mut'Awuhu and missiles and everything else for the 4th? Integrated total processing 4800 2416 TPI next ICCLL technical notes. I can't believe they moved it that fast. PPA formulated on the Terra 1012 operations. Wait a minute. I just saw that. Well, if the volume and surface area of a sphere can both be calculated if you know only the radius of the sphere. Mm-hmm. D equals A times B. We'll see two operations purposes. Tops. It's before this. List of controls. The molecular beam epitaxial growth equipment. Metal organic vapor disposition. Molecular beam. Water oxygen. Semiconductor. The helium implant. High energy 600 greater. Sigeshi. Geshi. Radio frequency power source. Electrostatic chuck. The silicon germanium to silicon. Modified plasma. Purging of gases. This is the purge, huh? The radical. Electroplating, electro design, filling the metals. Plasma processing using hydrogen, including hydrogen and nitrogen too, and ammonia. That ammonia, boy. Remote filter, disposition of the carbon. See the cobalt? I told you. Okay. This is each type of being, the effect that this transition is going to have on each type of being. They even got that laid out in here. Automatic layer disposition, the carbon hard mask. I told you, those who feel like they're carbonated beings, you know, in your DNA code, that's what you are. And they know it too. Titanium, spatial plasma, chemical vapor, the wave, the molybdenum, organic, organometallic, radicals for Christ, son. Dielectric, aspio, feature to feature pitch. Oh man, boat design. I was going over this last night, and here I am going over it again. I should have wrote down pages. I should have wrote it down. The information that I was putting in the chat. Minimum resolve feature. Exposure to source light wave. Chuck overlay. Chucky. Micro contact printing pool tools. Hot embossing. Nano imprint. All this about beaming off rockets, right? Mm-hmm. They trying to rewrite on your codes, your codecs. Does not control the layer masks, optical sensors, the semi-standard ion beam, physical vapor of disposition, pellicles, the reflow of copper, metal interconnects, components and designs, reasons for control. I put that down to the reasons for control: sputtering, kinetic energy, target surfacing, also controls liners, paddles, boats. Yeah, okay. Crystal pullers, stored program control, silicon thickness. Trial methods, endpoints, reactor, endpoints, cassette, batch, single wafer, chemical vapor dispositions, does not control low pressure, electric beams, shaped. Oh, I didn't see this one last night. The Gaussian, I didn't see that. Feedback, surface equipment. Store program controlling. Ultraviolet. Look. So moving into the ultraviolet, visible photolithography. Chromium, silicon. Look at this. Chromium percolinate. The first time they used this was some type of fabrication. It was 1980, January 1st, 1980. Projection scanners, photo optical, micrometer, ion beams, and x-rays, direct to rewrite the system, die bonders, hybrid circuits. All these big words. Does not control the general proposed production, controls the software, commodities, traveling wave tube amplifiers, the frequencies, the ear license, the software, J to P, Macau, speed, information security, exceptions, technology. So that's why they're not gonna let my come up. They done took it out of here. My my what do you call this thing right here on the side? Chat. For all the information that I uploaded in the chat last night, solar panels, assemblies, technology, special conditions, general technology, production, space qualified frequency standards, ITAR, technology for components. Oh, my ears clogging up again. Goodness. process design kits, electronic assemblies, control columns, digital computers, computerized digital components, destinations for the ear, adjusted peaks, await teraflops. Are eligible computer system designated. Vector processors, technical note, array processors. Yep, they took it out of here. They're the image enhancements, operation for other systems, control, digital, reserve digital, 70 electronics assemblies. Systolic array computers. Y'all see the systolic array computers? Did anyone know what systolic is? Neural computers, optical computers. So they're going from the heart, your mind, the neurons, the electrical components connected to your heart, and your eyes. Other technical notes. See, they're focusing on behaviors, not of the computer, of the people when it's this intrusion software is activated on the 8th. Again, they've removed some things just as last night because, again, I was on here and I was taking notes and putting them into my chat from here instead of doing like I did the other night and write them down. I love to write down information because of years of experience of anybody, especially when they're doing remote access to your equipment, can go in and delete and move and change and all that. Just like YouTube, they don't like what you got in there. They say, okay, we just gonna delete your stuff. And I didn't have anyone come that I remember coming in with me to even see some of the stuff that I had in the that I was highlighting off of here. But you know what I can do that's even better? I can just go back to where I was highlighting everything. Yeah, I might not could share my chat, but it could show where I was highlighting the stuff. Yeah, let's go do that. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, yes, that's exactly. So anybody can see I done went through here 2 or 3 times, right? And some of the stuff that I had highlighted just last night, less than 24 hours, is not here. And they had me shadow banned where all the way up to this morning was just one view. One view. And all the stuff that I highlighted is what? Not here. But asymmetric, all this about the heart. The heart. Rewriting the program, putting people to sleep, and sending missiles. Sending missiles to the moon. That song, what's his name? Bruno Mars just came to my mind. I wonder how many Moon songs he had. The Om. Okay, that's enough. I'm not going to torment myself any longer. I'm just going to go, even though my, what you call it, isn't able to be shown. Even though my chat isn't available. Even though my chat isn't available. Oh, now the chat available. The chat available now, y'all. The chat available now. Let's see. Okay. Let's see.
My brain symbolizes the capacity to think. My mind is God's mind. Of heaven is on the way home.
So see, when I got to the Stella part, I started going over Stella, all the Stellas that they. Oh, come on now. Right there. Now, see, what page was that? Where did I get that from? Let me see where I got that from. What page is that? Okay, when they were talking about groups. Does that say 15? Okay, let's see if it's on 15 here. 15. There it is. Okay. So right here. This revision is being done to address concerns about continued support for indigenous development and production of the front-end integrated circuit production equipment in Macau and destinations. So that was one of the points. Oh, it was right up here under the knowledge. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead. and start doing this math. Then I got and take these notes in Excel. I'm doing a little what you call it, tutorial with Excel right now and AI to help me figure out these equations a little bit faster, a lot more faster. Just like what? I only have what, 8 days? 8 days. It's the countdown. It's the countdown. Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready. I'm telling you. If y'all ready to see all this mumbo jumbo come to an end, because they think they slowed down. They because even with all the forbidden knowledge, because he don't have true love and light in his heart, you think he would be able to override? You really think this message is to the officials that used forbidden knowledge to help them out? Hey, Elon. What did y'all think? What is it that y'all think y'all are gonna be able to do to override what God has promised for his people? Huh? What? I just want to know. None of y'all bold enough to come and communicate with me. Huh? I heard one of my greatest, most special teachers over there talking yesterday, talking about they scared to come. Anybody who wouldn't attempt to come and sit and come on his panel must have something. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about the whole community. Scared of the truth. I'd have been so transparent if they wanted to. If I was into man-made things like that, they could rob me 10,000 times. I'm so transparent. They literally could come in anytime they want and share my Wi-Fi and see what I got going on. So transparent that they could dig up anything they wanted to dig up about me and take it and talk about. They can't stand the truth, the tone of the truth. Hate it. Only a few. God is gonna keep his promise. And there will be no more suffering, no more tears. Evil will be wiped away. My grandmother said this morning, she said she wants to be caught up in the rapture. And the first thing came to my mind was, in the rapture of love. Nothing else can compare. Nothing can compare to the love and light of God. Nothing can compare to the promise that all this wickedness will come to an end. Let me finish with this right here, and then I will close out. Oh, I did finish. I did. Yeah, so all I got to do right now is study and enjoy the rest of this day. I said I was going to do some 8 hours and all that. Nope. 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 A greater light. Let me see if I can go sit somewhere and entertain myself. Listen to somebody else talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Greater light. I might be back later. Maybe.